So there are two areas that I am interested in talking to you about, and that is that you have real estate in across a broad range of asset classes, don't you?
Correct.
From hotels across everything. So tell me, of the range, you've talked about hotels and the opportunities there, but tell me about, and retail, but what about other asset classes like multifamily and offices and self-storage and all the other things that I know that you guys touch? What are you seeing happening in those sectors?
We're into, I mean, on a weekly basis, watching what's happening with them. So far, all the multifamily is holding up. We've had a slight uptick in delinquency, but nothing that would cause us to be concerned. One of our multifamily properties has a student component to it, and we were pretty worried about that one. And so far, we've only had, 7 people out of 200 we've had to chase, which is not that much. On the self-storage side, same thing, holding up just fine. People are continuing to pay their bills. We're watching for delinquencies coming into May because maybe that's when people will start being delinquent, but so far, so good. All of our office is doing fine except for one building that we're still trying to find a tenant for it, but that's just kind of normal course of business stuff. And then we have some retail, but the retail that we have is contiguous to a university. It's kind of like a main street. It's not big box. And so that we're still touring people through, and people are looking to, open stores and stuff because they see that by the time they get open 6 months to a year from now, they feel fairly confident to move forward. And so that's one side of the equation. On the other side, it could get a lot worse if the government and and the powers that be don't step in to create some relief for the CMBS, CLO markets, mortgage REITs, private equity debt. Basically, all the relief that's been created so far only affects the banks. And so while that's great if you happen to have a bank loan, 80% of hotels are probably funded by non-bank financing. So all the other lenders are where they really need some help right now. And if they don't, what most people don't understand is that a mortgage ends up in one big bond, right? And that bond is probably 5 to 20% hotel, 5 to 20% retail, piece of office, piece of multifamily, whatever. So if 10 to 40% of that bond goes cancerous because those assets can't pay their bills, then the bond's going to have problems. And so I think that I've never seen the level of proactivity coming out of the government so far to try to address these situations. I've been on calls with congresspeople and senators and members of the White House, et cetera. And, it's just us, we're not that big of a deal, but they want to know, they want the information from the front lines. And when you talk to them and tell them, hey, I think you should do this, they've said, well, I've heard that from 7 other people and we're taking action. It's pretty impressive, frankly.
Well, so what is it that you do on? What are they responding positively to, Chris?
One is I'm trying to get them to think about how to create an off-ramp so that people who have hotels could refinance their hotels with their 2019 numbers and refinance into a bank loan, which is much more flexible than a CMBS loan or other loans. That would save the bond market and the CMBS loans, and it would also put the hotels in a position to weather the storm and then come back out of this. So that just suggestions like that that we've been kicking up there.